lovelies, welcome back to the channel. Today I am doing a Q&A because it feels like a long time since we've done one of those. I don't even remember when the last one was. So I popped up a little picture on Instagram 3 hours ago and now we have like 250 comments. I'm not going to be able to answer all of those, unfortunately, so I'm going to try to pick the ones that are interesting and also ones that I haven't answered before, although my memory's bad, so I'm sorry if I do answer things I've answered before, but I'm trying. Also, if your question wasn't answered and you're sad about that, there is a chance it's because it's been asked before, but also I just can't possibly get through all of these, so bear with me, but I will do what I can. So, first off, what would your dream trip be if you had unlimited time and money? Oh, so many. I mean, can I just, like, make it all one and visit like all the places I want to visit in the world in one huge trip? I don't even know how long that would take. If I had to pick one, going with unlimited money, I'm gonna say one would definitely be Tokyo for like 2 or 3 weeks, because then I can do all the shopping. Life hack. But yeah, Tokyo is one of the places I've wanted to go for like the longest in my life, so that would definitely be one. Another place that I've like wanted to go since I was quite young, and I still remember why, I'll talk about that in a second, is Peru. And that idea has kind of like recently really come back into my head, and especially then the other night whenever I was thinking about it. Whenever I want to visit somewhere, I always go on Atlas Obscura. Not sponsored, I wish though, that would be cool. Atlas Obscura is like a website where you can like type in like countries or cities and it'll tell you kind of like weird things to do or visit in those places. So I went on to Atlas Obscura and popped in Peru, and there are like so many more cool things than I realized. Like, I knew there was a lot, but there was even more that I didn't know about, and now I'm like dying to go. So Tokyo or Peru would be two of the big ones. Just with Peru, I wouldn't even know how to organize a trip like that. But the first thing that ever got me interested in it was like a random book that I got as a kid from a charity shop. I think it was actually part of a series, but I only ever had that one book from it. Was it called like The Power of Five or something? But that particular book, a lot of it is set in Peru and stuff, and it is completely a work of fiction, but then obviously it has real things in it. And a lot of stuff about like all the ruins and the Incas and stuff was brought up, and the Nazca lines, and whenever I found out the Nazca lines are like a real thing and not just something from that book, like my mind was blown. I was like, how? That still baffles me. I still think that's amazing. So yeah, I would love to see Peru. Other places I really want to go in general, since I'm pretty sure there are more questions about where I want to travel. Right now, if I had to like, you know, give you a list: Tokyo, Peru, New Orleans, Prague, Paris, and Barcelona again, because Barcelona. Those would be like the first ones that come to mind that I really want to go see. Which of the 7 deadly sins do you relate to the most? God, I don't know. I can definitely see like a little bit of a lot of them in me. I want to say sloth, but then like, I don't know. I never know if I'm like being lazy or if I'm just sad. I can't really separate those feelings, but definitely like, I am definitely a creature of comfort, and I love my bed and I love sleep and stuff, but I don't know, but that's an interesting one. Is there anything you wish you got into as a kid but you feel it's too late now? Yeah, loads of things, like so many things. I would have loved to have learned to play instruments as a kid. I would have liked to have learned other languages as a kid, but the problem was I just didn't have the concentration skills whenever I was a kid for like any of that stuff. You couldn't get me to like sit down and do things like that. Like if you could try to make me sit through like an hour-long piano lesson, hell no, couldn't happen. I was just too distracted. I wanted to be out running around climbing trees and stuff. I just couldn't do it. So there's a lot of stuff I wish I'd done as a kid, but you know, oh well. There's one here with loads of questions. I'm going to answer a couple from it. Have you considered moving to Barcelona if things work out for you financially? There are a couple of questions in that vein about moving to Barcelona, why we're not moving to Barcelona, blah blah blah. And yeah, definitely like the biggest main sort of thing would be like the money side of things. But yeah, so like money would definitely be the biggest thing. And then the only other thing that like puts me off living there mostly is like the fact that it gets so hot in summer. My dad was saying last summer it was like well over 40 degrees Celsius, and I was like, I don't know if I would survive that. I genuinely don't. Would you ever live in a castle, or do you prefer city life? Give me a castle! Give me a castle in Barcelona. That is what I want. And then finally, what exactly is wrong with American chocolate? I don't know, it's just not nice. Like the first time I ever tried Hershey's, I don't know if it's different now, but the first time I tried Hershey's, I distinctly remember it literally tasting a little bit like vomit. There was like a vomity quality to it, and I've been unhappy about it ever since. And it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't taste like rich and chocolatey the way chocolate should. I don't know. There are a whole bunch of questions in here about styling. Like, do I get inspiration from like movie characters? How do I dress like on a sort of toned down day? A lot of things like that. I really want to start a styling series in a lot of different sort of themes, and a lot of things that have been asked are already in my plans, so we're gonna wait for that. So yeah, in terms of all the styling questions, hopefully you'll see some of that soon. Favorite songs at the moment. I have like a whole Spotify playlist with like a lot of my favorites, and it's kind of like my go-to one. Like I have loads of dumb playlists. Like I have like the cheesy pop nightmare playlist and the heck yeah 80s playlist and nostalgia trash. But I have like one sort of main central playlist that has like, I don't know, mostly a lot of my favorite stuff on there, and then also from that playlist, like I put all my favorite stuff on there, but then because Spotify's like, hey, if you like these songs, what about this song? So I've found some new songs as well through that, so they've been added, so it's a mixture of all my favorites and then like new stuff I've discovered and like. It's complicated, but I'll put a link down to that below. One song that I only discovered in the past couple of days. Do you ever get like, there's a band that you've heard about and you've known about for a really long time, but for some reason you just never check them out, and then you finally do and you're like, why the hell did I never look this up? Sisters of Mercy was one of those for me. I didn't listen to them for like years and I don't know why. It just, I never checked them out, I guess. And then it was like 3-4 years, it was a few years back anyway. One day I think I was reading Lost Souls, and I don't think Sisters of Mercy are even mentioned in that book, so I don't know what put it into my head, but I was like, hey, let me check out this band, and I was immediately like, oh my god, this is my favorite band. I don't but one band that's happened with recently, at least one song, I still need to check out more of their stuff before I'm like solidly in there, but London After Midnight. Don't know why I never checked them out before, don't know why I'd never listened to them, but they came up in my little Spotify recommended thing and I was like, sure, let me listen to this, and the song is Kiss, and immediately I was like, oh, like I just, that's a good sound. That's a good sound for my ear holes. So yeah, I need to listen to more of their stuff when I'm not distracted, because I did put on more of their music earlier, but I was like in the middle of doing a million things, so I wasn't really absorbing it. But yeah, so the playlist will be down below, and one song that I have just recently found that I really love is Kiss by London After Midnight. I think that's the song. I think that's the name. I don't know. Do you think you'll ever grow out of goth? I really hope you don't. No, like at this point, like this, all of my interests and everything have been with me for more than half of my life, and I just can't see it going anywhere. I find new interests as time goes on, but they never replace, I guess, the interests that would be considered goth. They just kind of get smooshed down on top of it. So yeah, I never like leave it entirely and like don't like it anymore and move on to something else. It's just like, here's, you know, the goth stuff I like. Oh, here's another thing. Oh, here's another thing. So my pile of interests is out of control. But yeah, no, I can't see myself ever not liking the things that I like, you know. Favorite plant and favorite things to cook. I don't know. I like ferns. I do like ferns. In terms of houseplants, I really like monsteras. And like, whenever we were in Barcelona, there were like golden pothos plants everywhere, and I've wanted one for a while, but in Barcelona they're literally everywhere, and I felt like I was being teased. So that is like the next plant I really want to get, because I just love them. But I don't know, yeah, ferns are definitely pretty. I don't know, I like a lot of plants, it's hard to choose. Favorite things to cook? I make really good seafood chowder. I guess more like fish chowder, I don't know, because, well no, there's prawns in it. Seafood chowder. I make a really good seafood chowder. It is actually delicious. I also like to bake things. I don't know, I just kind of like experimenting with food in general. Like a lot of the food I eat isn't like a dish, like it doesn't have a name. It's just I have thrown a bunch of stuff together, being like, this is good. So yeah, I like to play around with food. Do you ever think you'll host a meet and greet with your fans? I've done quite a lot actually. Well, not a lot. I've done like a good few meet and greets, and I definitely want to do more in the future. If a zombie epidemic broke out, what would your strategy be? Okay, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity for like a hella throwback. Really early in my YouTube videos, it was like one of my first like handful of videos, I think. I actually made my own tag video, and I think it's called like the zombie apocalypse tag or something. I don't even fully remember. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. I don't even fully remember all the things I said, but I know I discussed my plans if there were ever a zombie apocalypse, so you should check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. If I forget to, tell me. I'm bad for that. I'm like, I'll leave a link, and I don't. But yeah, check that out. Also, if you do YouTube yourself, I would love it. Let's revive that tag. I would love to see other people do it. So yeah, I actually have a whole video about that. Would you do more DIY videos and makeup inspired by nature? I will, it's just those videos don't do well on my channel at all. They tank, they bomb so hard, and so then it's like, the motivation isn't really there to do more of those videos, but I'll make myself do them anyway, because, you know, some people do like them. It's just, what's your favorite skincare product at the minute? Okay, I am really off my skincare game, and actually ever since we got back from Barcelona, like being in Barcelona would just seem to make my skin angry. It's terrible right now, so I do need to get back into my routine because I just haven't been doing it. but my favorite skincare stuff in general recently, not just one product, but like a bunch of stuff, was, Christ, what are they called? The Ordinary. I think it's a company called The Ordinary, and they do like a whole bunch of different like skin stuff and especially acids and stuff, and I had a really good little routine going for a while and my skin was like the best it had been in years. I just kind of fell out of the habit of it. I need to get back into it because it's a habit you need to develop. But yeah, The Ordinary do some really amazing skincare stuff, and they're really, really cheap. Like compared to all the other fancy like 40 quid stupid creams and stuff, all The Ordinary stuff, most of the stuff I got I think is under a tenner, so like they're good and they're cheap, so I appreciate that. Can you do some more OOTDs? Yes, I will try to just start, well, like I said, the styling videos I guess are going to introduce that, so yes, I will work on that. Have you considered microblading, or do you like doing your eyebrows yourself? Yeah, no, I wouldn't do microblading because like for one, the style of eyebrows I do, like they're not, I've never seen microblading done to achieve this kind of look. It's usually for like natural like hairy looks, which I don't like. I don't like hairy looking eyebrows most of the time. The fact that I wouldn't trust anyone to do anything like permanent or semi-permanent on my face, and just I like to be able to move my eyebrows around or like have none at all sometimes for different makeup looks, so I'm happy being an alien. What style of goth do you think you fit into, or feel like a mix of styles? I don't think I fit into like any one sort of like goth sub style, because not only is my style generally quite a mixture of like a lot of goth sub styles, it's also a mixture of fashions that aren't goth at all. And like sometimes, you know, I'll wear an outfit that is much more towards one particular style, and another day I'll wear something that's way more towards this other style, and then another day I'll be wearing like a big mishmash. So I definitely don't think I really kind of fit in anywhere. I just throw on clothes and hope for the best. Whenever I was younger though, I was like cyber goth, like that's all I cared about. I was like cyber goth. So yeah, though, like my style looking back was kind of like cyber goth mixed with a little bit of sort of like death rock fashion, sort of ish, slightly. Like a lot of my influence back then came from people with a very death rock style, but it was like mostly like cyber future. Ooh. How do you keep motivating yourself to do your makeup, clothes and all of that? A lot of people, especially depressed people, don't have the motivation to do it every day. I do not do it every day. Like I can go for like 3 weeks without makeup touching my face, and I definitely just, as you say, you know, especially with depression and stuff, if that hits, I will not be doing any of this. But even whenever I'm in a good mood, like I still would struggle to do it every day. Like we were in Spain for a week, and every single day that week I got dressed up because we were going out, and by like the 4th day I sat down to do my makeup and I was like, I definitely need breaks, because it's like, it is a lot sometimes. Whenever I was younger it wasn't like that at all. I would sit in my bedroom at night and do my makeup for literally no reason other than like I wanted to play with makeup. I wish I still had that in me. I wish I could recapture that joy and stuff, but like these days, like sitting down to do it's like a whole process, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, no, it's definitely like, you know, whenever you guys see me in videos, I am almost definitely going to be done up, but that is definitely not an everyday thing for me, like by far. Money and space were not an issue and you're put in charge of designing a theme park. What would your theme be? That's fun. I don't know, I would love to like make a really good, like really like spooky circus carnival themed theme park, like a big like spooky like Tim Burton-ish with like a little bit of, what's it called, Spooky Island from Scooby-Doo, you know, just like a whole big spooky like carnival theme, you know, like I think that would be really fun. Oh, what a fun question. Yeah, like definitely like spooky Tim Burton's circus freak show horror, something like that would be awesome. What's the best thing about bees? Well, other than the fact, you know, all the stuff they do for their planet, or for our planet, sorry, well both. Well, our, I guess, would include the bees. One of my favorite things is just like bumblebees when they're all clumsy and they just kind of boof into things and they're like, oh, sorry. That, and like when bee butts like stick out of flowers, like little fluffy fat bumblebee butts like sticking out of the flowers. That's like one of the purest things on this earth. I love it. How do you keep yourself motivated to make videos, and do fears ever get in the way? Oh boy, do they. There are so many videos that I just don't do because I just don't want to deal with any hassle that will come my way. It's the reason I don't really do any videos about like goth stuff anymore, because I just don't want the hassle. I don't want people swooping in and being like, oh, I think you're wrong because blah blah blah. Like I just can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered with people just throwing all the nastiness at me. Like I said, I tend to put off videos and I'll like record something and then I'll think it won't be good enough and I'll just delete it. So yeah, no, it's a big problem for me. I try to push past it. I don't always succeed, and especially if I'm in a low place, then I definitely don't like going out of my comfort zone with videos, because I'm like, I'm already sad. I can't deal with assholes throwing more at me. Where would you recommend to get your style of clothes on a budget? eBay, always eBay. Honestly, like I don't get as much from eBay as I used to because I am fortunate enough at this point in YouTube to get sent a lot of stuff from brands. And frankly, I don't even have the space for that, let alone to be buying more on top of it. But eBay is where I got like a lot of my stuff whenever I was like starting out and stuff, and I will still get a lot of my sort of basics from there. If I need like a basic thing for a look, I will still get stuff from eBay. Let me know, I'm trying to think how to do it. Let me know if you want a like goth on a budget, how to shop eBay sort of video. I don't know, I will try to think of how I could do that if that's something you'd be interested in. Like without me actually having to buy loads of stuff, would you be happy with a video where I like search things and like show you guys how I find stuff and show you the stuff I find without actually buying it, or would you need to see it bought? Because that's the problem, it's money is the issue with that, money and space. But if that's something you're interested in, let me know and I'll try to figure it out. When will you be back to the US? I don't know, whenever I can afford it. What are your goth fashion staples? Lots of ripped tights and fishnets and a little black dress. If you have that, you can throw together anything. Do you play any instruments, or have you ever taken any interest in music when you were younger? Well, I mentioned before that I didn't have the concentration for it when I was younger. Unfortunately, no. I would love to be able to play bass. I really like bass, but I can't. I learned one single song and I was terrible at it. Can someone who doesn't like makeup at all be goth? Yeah, like you don't have to wear makeup. Like goth is, it's a lot more than what a lot of people make it out to be, you know. You don't have to look one certain way. You don't have to listen to a specific band, you know, like it's a lot more free than that. Do you get what I mean? I don't know. These are things that I hate talking about because people will always misinterpret what I'm saying and like lose their shit, and suddenly everyone on the internet's like, Toxic Tears says this, and I'm like, no, Toxic Tears does not say this, you have taken it out of context. But yeah, no, you don't have to wear makeup to be goth is what I'm saying. You don't have to wear a specific type of thing to be goth. You don't have to only listen to one type of music to be goth, you know. It's a lot more free than that. And if anyone out there thinks it isn't, then you're making goth a chore rather than something to enjoy. Do you prefer full moon or crescent moon? Full moon. There's so many questions here asking if me and Jake are going to get married. I have answered that before, but just because there are so many, there's no current plans for that now. You've been almost all over the world. When are you coming to the Caribbean? I would love to visit the Caribbean. That would be amazing. Like the only thing that stops me from going all these amazing places is just money. That is literally all. I would love to visit the Caribbean. And finally, do you think when you're really old that you'll still be rocking the giant boots and dramatic makeup? I hope so, is all I can say. I certainly hope so. I have no intention of stopping, so I'm so sorry. Look, there's so many more here that I just couldn't get through, and I didn't even answer all of the ones above that. I am so sorry that if I didn't answer your question. There's like, I mean, I don't even know how many we answered, but we've already gone so long, so I'm sorry, but I did as many as I could. I hope you enjoyed this anyway. If you have any thoughts about any of the questions I answered today, leave a comment and let me know. I always like hearing from you guys, especially if you're typically a ghost watcher or a lurker, which I totally am on YouTube. I'm so bad for just like watching stuff and never leaving a comment, but I love hearing from ghosty people. So if you feel comfortable, if you're a ghost watcher, leave a little comment, say hi. I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and I will do more again in the future. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. If you like the randomness that I've thrown at you today, feel free to check out some other videos as well if you'd like, see what it's all about. We'd love to have you as part of the family. And finally, because there were a lot of questions asking, there were loads of questions asking if I do anything for a job other than YouTube, let's bring that in. One last question. Do I do anything other than YouTube for a job? No, I don't. YouTube is my full-time job, but YouTube doesn't pay its creators properly anymore, so I'm a suffering. But the way you can help with that suffering is by checking out Patreon! Shameless plug! Patreon is an awesome website where you can tip your favorite creators monthly for the content that they make for you for free. It's completely optional, but it is an amazing way to support the people that you like to watch. So if you want to help support this channel and help with future videos, then that is the way to do it. The link will be in the description. As always, thank you so much, especially to you wonderful people who today are now going to go check out my Patreon. You especially. Big thumbs up to you, and the people who already support me on there. The hugest amount of love is going out to you. This has gone on forever and ever. I am going to skedaddle, and I will see you next time. Bye, lovelies!